A warm South African welcome to the parade ring and judgment day. International Jockey Challenge for South Africa 2012.
Behind me is one of the most beautiful race courses I've ever seen in South Africa. It's called Arlington Racecourse, and I'm currently in the Jock Andrews Pavilion. And this particular pavilion and this particular race course has always had enormous harmony between the sport of thoroughbred horse racing and other equine disciplines that you can see take place in the middle of this beautiful race course. Look at the jumps and the cross country that's taken place, and many Springboks have competed in the years gone by. And that's the kind of harmony that we need between South African horse racing and the South African Equestrian Federation. And we've managed to find the president of that particular federation, who are in turn affiliated to SASCOC, to tell us exactly what criteria is required in order for jockeys who participate in international events to get their national colours. It's a very straightforward procedure, and we're very excited about the prospects that await the South African horse racing industry if these conditions are adhered to. Here's Stephen RAULT.
Yes, I think the way forward is actually very, very simple. All that the South African Equestrian Federation requires is that the Jockeys Association is recognised by the racing authorities, and that's a unified body that can actually join our association, and we can then endorse any colours that are put forward to SASCOC.
Okay, let's go back a little bit before we go forward. The history of the Protea team in the last 3 years has been through its affiliation via the National Horse Racing Authority. Is that correct?
Yes, the National Horse Racing Authority was a member of the SAEF for a period of 4 years. They were a bit inactive in that they didn't attend many of our meetings. However, last year, the National Horse Racing Authority put a request in for Protea colours. It came through quite late, but they resigned in the early part of last year. So they then came back and joined us, became members, and as a result, colours were awarded for the international last year. The big issue around Protea colours is that the selection criteria matches that of SASCOC, that the Protea is not cheapened in any way, and it's done at the highest level. And once that's done, the Federation and any of our members who have met that criteria are then put forward, and the colours are awarded by SASCOC.
Well, obviously there's no greater honour than that of representing your country, and of course it's a very proud moment when that national anthem is played, and of course we would like to think that our jockeys are up there with the very best in the world, and we would look forward to a very, very harmonious relationship between whichever body is deemed fit to join SASCOC through the South African Equestrian Federation. What's your gut feeling in terms of the meetings that have been held of late subsequent to the international?
The way forward, I think, is a very positive one. The concern that the South African Equestrian Federation has is which body should be a member. You have the National Horse Racing Authority, you have the Racing Association, you have the Jockeys Association, and then you have Gold Circle and Pamela. And the debate has been over the past, who should actually be part of the SAEF. Fundamentally, even in yesterday's meeting, the debate was this is actually for the jockeys, and horse racing is a discipline, but we haven't got the discipline on board. However, going forward, there are a few issues we still need to resolve, one of them being the fact that we need to understand that this Jockeys Association encompasses all jockeys in South Africa, that they're endorsed by the bodies that I've mentioned. And if that's the correct case, then we'll move forward very, very quickly, and the Jockeys Association should become members.
Okay, so reading between the lines, there's no secret, and it's not rocket science, that there has been a rift between an official body that represents the interests of the jockeys and a breakaway body. Am I correct in reading that situation?
I am led to believe that the Jockeys Association is not a full body representing all jockeys, and I do understand that the jockeys ride under a contract which doesn't entitle them or doesn't necessarily mean that they can become members of the Jockey Association. However, we would like to see that, and going forward it's one way of uniting the sport, because we want to actually give colours to the highest level of riders, and obviously encourage internationals elsewhere, because it's a very nice formula and there's no reason why it shouldn't happen more often. And of course, the jockeys get the highest award. But they need to be members of our federation for us to endorse that.
Steve, the National Horse Racing Authority, formerly known as the Jockey Club of South Africa, is one of the oldest bodies in the sport, one of the most credible bodies worldwide, has a very good reputation all over the world. Why did they resign as a member of the South African Equestrian Federation?
The National Horse Racing Authority felt that in order for it to govern its sport, it needed to be the sole authority with regard to racing, and didn't want to be able to defer to another body, as they felt that it would obviously be an issue for their control. And they also felt that in terms of the number of cases that come up with regard to racing and its size, that the SAEF would be involved in a lot of the legal battles. We did agree with them. However, we've been trying to find a way of bringing racing on board to ensure that they participate in the equestrian fraternity as a whole, because there are spin-offs and there is interaction between the two. And it came as quite a surprise to us to realize that racing is as fragmented as it is, because it's such an organized sport and it's such a big sport. And so you would think it would form into the realms of cricket and rugby in that it would have a very good structure. However, be that as it may, I think the people that actually get the colours are the jockeys, and they're the ones that need to belong to us. And if we have the endorsement of the Racing Authority that this is a bona fide organisation, we're more than happy to accept them.